Hi everyone, it's me, Jaylia. I am back again with another video, and today I'm gonna be eating some In and Out and doing a little story time. So let's get to eating. Alright, so I have my In and Out here, and I'm gonna be drinking some aloe vera. I don't really know the flavor. It's like a fruit guayab flavor. So let's see how it is. So I don't usually get In and Out, but for some reason today I was like, I'm craving it, and I had just like some loose dollars. I was like, let me just spend it on that. So I just got um, a hamburger with grilled onions. And here's the sauce. So honestly, In and Out's not my favorite burger place at all. Like, I feel like every time I have it, I get like a little bit of heartburn, but hopefully not this time. But we'll see. So let me take the first bite, see how it is. Oh, that's really salty. Oh, but it's good. It's salty. Alright, that's okay. Alright, so let me get into my story. So I'm gonna, I guess, talk about one of the weirdest dates I've ever had. And this happened, I think it was like the beginning of last year, which is like 2023, I think it was. So basically, I met this guy on Tinder, and he's like a soccer player from like Africa. I forgot where in Africa, but he's from there. Um, um, so I met him on Tinder. He's from Africa, and we were just talking, chatting. I think for like a few days, because he was in my area, so we scheduled to meet like not too long after we had, I guess, matched. So yeah, we talked, and then we scheduled a time to meet. We decided to watch a movie. I think I think it was the I think it was the Fast and the Furious. It was the one that came out that year. I'm pretty sure that's when it was. But yeah, we scheduled to watch a movie, so we met up at a restaurant first before the movie. It wasn't like a fancy restaurant. It was just like a little cafe. Mm. Oh, it's pretty good. So we met at this cafe. It's called Natural Cafe. It's I don't know if it's like a big chain, but there's multiple locations where I live. So, but it's called Natural Cafe. So if there is more somewhere, then maybe. But I think it might just be like a chain in my city. But we we met there. We got food. I got a pesto pasta, and I think he got like a chicken salad. So that was pretty good. It started out fine. We were just talking, and then like in the date, and then like he just like randomly asked me like, "Oh, if God was like a person, like on this, like do you think if God was a person on this earth, like where he would he be?" And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't. I'm not okay. I'm not a religious person, so I tend to look for people that aren't religious either. And I literally asked this dude like, "Oh," I didn't ask him. I was like, "Oh, I'm not religious, but are you?" And then he said, "No, I am not. I'm just." He said he's just spiritual, and I didn't really know what that meant. I thought that just meant like you like feel good vibes in the air or something. So when he asked me this, I was like taken aback because I was like, "What the heck? Why is he asking me that question?" So, and let me remind you, this is the first date. This is the first time we're like basically meeting face to face. So it's not like we had known each other that much before then. So to me, that's like a really weird question to just like suddenly bring up when you're on a first date. So that was like the first like sign that was like, I don't know how this date is gonna go. So, what happened next? So, yeah, he was just like talking about God, even though he said that he wasn't religious, and I was like, okay, that's like the first red flag, because to me, I felt lied to. So, so I kind of just like tried to be like, oh, and like laugh it off and be like, oh, I don't know. What do you think? Because I didn't know what to say. I don't talk about that stuff, and that's just so random. We were eating pasta, and then we were getting to know each other, and then he like brought up this question randomly. It wasn't even like religion was like on the subject. It was like I think we were first talking about like family and our life and what we do, and then he suddenly was like all that. So I was like, okay. So we we finished eating. Then we went to the movie. Um, and it was alright. He like put his arm on me and stuff, but it wasn't too like weird to me. And I think one thing I also wanted to mention is that like he had so much cologne on, and I can't I can't stand cologne. Like it was like to the point where it was like just the atmosphere around him was cologne, and I literally started to get a headache, and like I felt like I was like suffocating. So it wasn't that great. And so so we finished the movie, and also another thing is this guy didn't he didn't have a car. He didn't drive, so he like would take the bus and stuff. So he asked me to take him home, and so I was like, sure. Even though like I was like tired, I wasn't feeling it. My head was hurting. Too much cologne was going on, and yeah. So I was like, okay, sure. I can take you home because it wasn't that late. It was probably like 8 p.m. So we got in my car, and like he lives like downtown. Well, like from me, my downtown in my city, and so like I drive him, which is like a almost 20-minute drive, and I'm like dying from the cologne. So it was just like, um, wait, no, okay. So before I started driving, we got in my car. I don't want to forget this because this is like a important part. So we got in my car, and then I don't know what vibes he thought I was putting off, or like what energy he thought I was putting off, because to me, I thought I was putting off of I'm tired, I'm ready to go home, my head is hurting. And I think to him, he thought, I don't know, he thought I was like being all romance. No, I wasn't. So like we were, I guess, talking in the car, and then he just like goes, leans into me and like kisses me, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, and then he like does more, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want this, and he didn't really ask, like he just kissed me and then didn't even ask if I wanted it. So it was like, oh, and I really was like, I didn't want to like be like, ew, right in front of him, but in my mind I was like, what the heck, what's going on? And he, yeah, I don't know what he thought, what vibes I was putting off, but I was like, oh, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, oh, I didn't really want to do that. And so then and I was like, and I pretty much was just like, oh, my head's hurting, let me just take you home, cause what the heck. So it's a weird drive to his house, which I don't even know, he was just guiding me, which I probably shouldn't have done, because like he's basically a stranger I met on Tinder. But it was like, he was a shorter man, he was shorter than me, and like I'm not a heightist, but to me, I don't want to date a man that's shorter than me, just because I'm already short. I'm 5'3", so like a man that's shorter than me, I'm like, so yeah, I'm not really into men that shorter than me, because I'm like, who's protecting who then? So yeah, so he was shorter than me, and yeah, I was like, ooh. So yeah, I drive him to his house, and then we say goodbye, and I'm like, oh. So then I drive back home, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Cause my head was hurting, too much cologne. So I messaged him, and I was like, oh, I wasn't ready to like kiss you. And then he apologized and said, sorry, I thought that you were like into it or something. And I was like, and then I was like, and also like, you said you weren't religious, but like, you clearly are, because why would you ask me that question about God like during the date? And then he kept being like, no, I'm just spiritual. And I was like, no, you're not. So then I told my sister this. I like told her what happened, and then she did some investigating and found his like second Facebook account, because like when I first met him, I only did like investigating on his Instagram, and everything seemed normal. Like it had pictures of him playing soccer and like doing dude stuff. So I was like, okay, he's normal. And then she found his like second Facebook and his second Instagram, and then that all said like, oh, praise Allah. And I was like, so I was like, oh my god. And I was like, okay, I should have done more research on this person, which I think to me that's stuff that I'm not good at is like I do like the baseline research just to make sure they're not like some complete weirdo, but then I don't do the thorough research, which is like finding his accounts, finding everything, his life story, his parents, his sisters. I didn't do that, and I should have done that, and I've made that mistake a lot in my dating life. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'll try to do more research, and then I still didn't do enough research for like my next few dates and relationships, which I should have done. So so that was about it. I basically, oh, okay, well that wasn't it because he was like thinking I was still into him, and at this point I was like, okay, there's too many red flags. He lied to me about this, he lied to me about that, he kissed me without asking to kiss me. Okay, so yeah, he kissed me without asking to kiss me and all this stuff. So then I basically was like, and then he was like trying to get me to see him again like a few days later, and then I pretty much had to be like, oh, like you're a nice person, but like I don't really see us as friends, because I was like, I don't want to anger this dude, because like I didn't know like if he had some more stuff going up there. So I was like, let me do this carefully. So I was like, oh, I think we'd better be better off as friends. Like I don't see any romantic things happening, and like clearly we have different views on things. You're religious, and well, I didn't say you're religious, because I pretty much was just like, oh, we have different views on things, and I just don't think it'll work out. And then he asked if it was because of his religion, which then he admitted to having a religion. And then I was like, no, it's not. Even though it was like probably 90% of why I was like, no, just because it wasn't even just like him, like, um, being religious. And no, it was like he had like his whole second accounts were him praising like his god religion stuff. So it wasn't even like, so he seems like an extremist in that whatever religion that he does. So I was like, no thank you, but I didn't want to like make it seem like it was about the religion, because I felt like that would have made it seem worse. So I was just like, oh, I'm just not romantically into you like that, sorry. And it was, I'm glad I did that, because I don't know what would have happened if I had like continued to do outings with this guy. And it was like literally maybe like a couple weeks after I had broken up with an ex, and it was just like my first date getting back into the world. And so I was like, but yeah, that's my story of like my weirdest date. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my story watching me eat In and Out. I did not end up finishing the burger all the way, but I'll probably finish it later. But it was alright. You know, In and Out's not my favorite burger place at all. So it was definitely like, I was just wanting a burger, and they're pretty much the cheapest burgers, because I think McDonald's Big Mac at this point is more than an In-N-Out burger. So I was like, I just want a burger, and it was okay, but was it worth the wait? I think I waited almost like 20 minutes for this burger, and I went inside the restaurant and I waited like probably 20 minutes for the burger. So I wouldn't say it was worth the wait, but you know, it's a burger. Like, I shouldn't expect too much from it, especially because their burgers are pretty basic burgers. They're not that experimental in their flavors, and they've never changed their burger flavors whatsoever. So, you know, like, I'm not judging them harshly. I'm just saying it's not for me, and I don't see all the like hype about it and why people wait in the drive-through for it, because to me, like, you can get a better burger for less weight and it tastes better. And I'm already kind of feeling the heartburn from it, so that's not great, but it's okay. But I hope you enjoyed this video, this little story time into, I guess, my dating life, if you could say that. I definitely have more stories about my dating life, because I I've had not the best dating life so far, and I'm hoping to change that. But with this world, these men, there's something else. So yeah, but if you want more dating stories, let me know, because you know, I have them stacked up. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.